Today, we're lucky to have Guilhem Garel and Noah Ruffier from Thales Alenia Space. They both work at the direction of strategy and innovation on the Space Business Catalyst, and they will basically present to us the challenges that were fought by Thales Alenia Space. Guilhem, the floor is yours. Please go ahead and let me know how you like to proceed with the slides.
All right. Thank you very much for this introduction. Thank you very much for welcoming us and for organizing this webinar. Actually, on behalf of Thales Alenia Space, we are really happy to participate to ActInSpace once again, because actually, if I remember well, the last edition was held in Cannes with Thales Alenia Space in coordination with one of our main sites there. So really happy to renew the experience, to pursue the engagement with ActInSpace and with the CNES on behalf of Thales Alenia Space. And this time with the Space Business Catalyst added to the picture. Maybe this is the biggest change since last time. So happy to have this webinar to present you our challenges this year, the prices associated with the Space Business Catalyst, and to introduce you also the Space Business Catalyst. But first of all, we will introduce ourselves with Noah. So I give you the floor, Noah, and then we will pursue.
So nice to meet you, everyone. Noah Ruffier. I'm working at the Space Business Catalyst with Guilhem Garel, and I'm in charge of the deal flow, so to find new potential startups and new potential projects to work within Thales Alenia Space strategic subject.
And on my side, thank you very much. On my side, I'm Guilhem Garel. I'm part of the Strategy and Innovation Directorate too. I'm in charge of the activities related to the Space Business Catalyst, which encompasses startup acceleration, open innovation at large, and many other activities related also to internal innovation in the perimeter of France. So maybe we will, this is the good moment to give you a bit more information about the Space Business Catalyst by Thales Alenia Space. So we may switch to the next slide, if I may.
Yeah, sure.
So you may all or not know Thales Alenia Space. We are a space infrastructure provider in space. With a huge heritage and operating in all the market segments except the launchers. So we are in the telecommunication activities or observation activities, in the navigation domain, in the space exploration market segment. So we have a lot of experience and successes in those in all of those fields. With a lot of huge projects done in partnership with the CNES, with ESA, and with well-known programs such as, and the European Commission, with well-known programs such as Copernicus, Galileo for Earth observation, respectively, then navigation. We're also on the new project IRIS Square regarding telecommunication, and of course on space exploration we have been doing an instrumental regarding the pressurized module of the International Space Station with our activities in Italy. So this is for Thales Alenia Space. We are a large structure integrator present in France, Italy, and all over Europe. And we have decided to launch an initiative associated to the Strategy and Innovation Department called the Space Business Catalyst, which goal is to emerge new markets, new players, new companies, new partners for Thales Alenia Space in the space sector in order to address the future of space and to build it with partners, especially startups, actually. We have based this initiative on the experience that we have gathered in innovation since 2014. A lot of the initiatives that are now encompassed within the Space Business Catalyst initiative were held already in 2017. But recently, 3 years ago, we have decided to frame a bit more those initiatives within what we call now the Space Business Catalyst, which encompasses mainly four things: the acceleration of startups with an acceleration program, the open innovation at large, so monitoring and engaging with startups at large, the ventures, which are our internal startups that we launch also to address key strategic fields and key strategic fields of innovation, and also the Space Business Catalyst encompasses for Thales Alenia Space all that is related to strategic partnerships that may include an investment. So as you can see, this is a tool for Thales Alenia Space to engage in various ways with the ecosystem, to grow the ecosystem together and address the future of space. Today, we are happy to offer a place within this initiative, in the acceleration part of the initiative, to the winners of these challenges, the challenges that will be described afterwards. So, which means that the team that would be selected, that would be winning those challenges, would receive an entry ticket inside the Space Business Catalyst, which is a place in Toulouse and Torino, where you have offices on Thales Alenia Space premises, along with other startups, and where you receive, as a team, technical support, business development support, networking support, and fast prototyping means to grow your business. The key word behind all of this is industrial acceleration. So within the Space Business Catalyst, the acceleration part is all about industrial acceleration, so helping a company to go from PowerPoint to industrial prototypes. And I think this is the kind of prize that can really help a company, or at least a team, winning such a challenge, such a hackathon, to grow. Then it gives a huge opportunity for those teams who would be winning to grow their ID and potentially their business with a key industry player in the space sector, which is Thales Alenia Space, through this acceleration program. This acceleration program lasts 6 months, can be renewed, and require minimum on-site presence to engage with the team. That's it for the presentation of Thales Alenia Space, of the Space Business Catalyst, and of the price associated. So I may just give a quick word about the selection criteria and the deliverables that are expected regarding the challenges that we will present you with NOAA. So regarding the selection criteria, of course, we will be really interested and cautious about the business potential and the market relevance that will be associated with the ideas and projects initiated based on those challenges. This is not by chance that we are within the strategy and innovation department. That the innovation is within the strategy department is because we really see it as something that is business oriented. So this is something that is key for us, is to see ideas, projects that are really business oriented. Of course, that are innovative and original. This is what we will be looking for, with fresh minds, new spirits, willing to make an impact in the sector. The teams should reflect the diversity in all ways, because this is we strongly believe that this is through this diversity that the best innovation can arise. And of course, we are business oriented, but we remain also usually a technological company. So we will be a bit cautious to the feasibility and the credibility of the business model. So business oriented, but also a bit of the idea in itself, because we may have also digged in those ideas ourselves. The deliverables are pretty free in terms of format. Of course, we will expect as any new project and company that would be launched, a pitch deck in a PowerPoint or PDF format, but do not impede yourself if you're interested in sending us a video, or to build up a website, flyers, or even to go straight to the prototype. We are happy also to receive other kind of material, but a slide deck would be at least ideal to grasp the opportunity and the project that you would present to these challenges. I think I covered the preliminary remarks. If it's all right, we may jump straight into the challenges that Thales Alenia Space, through the Space Business Catalyst, is proposing this year to ActInSpace.
Thank you, Guillaume. Are there any questions on the prize that was just exposed here? Is everything clear in terms of criteria and deliverables? Okay, that's good. Let's go then. Let's move to the first Thales Alenia Space challenge. Go ahead, Guillaume.
All right. So this first challenge is at the crossroad of space data, trust, and value. We are an infrastructure manufacturer, of course, and so we are well aware of the thousands of satellites that are generating huge amount of data every day. This is what we provide to our customers, the satellites that are allowing to produce those data. But we also know that there is a fragmented access to those data, an unstandardized way to mix them, to merge them, and to go towards the fusion of those data. And so all of that, the result of all of that is a situation that is really complex. Numerous data, huge amount, really diverse, non-homogeneous, and so it can prevent from extracting the most of the value of those data. So the mission of this challenge would be to redesign how space data is shared and trusted. Trusted is important because it's in the DNA of Thales. We are building a future that we can all trust at Thales level. So this is really important for us, that those data that are numerous, diverse, non-homogeneous are trusted data. What you can think once that's said, what you can think is, for example, in terms of technical details and resources, is in terms of interoperability, in terms of licensing, in terms of security and cyber security. You can use, and we have seen this with startups that we are collaborating with through the accelerator, blockchain, open standards, APIs. You can have all of this in mind in addressing this mission, and you can, of course, leverage, if feasible for you, data sets or existing space platforms to build up your idea. The objective behind is really to create a scalable space data marketplace. Define who pays, who benefits, who value, how value circulates. The idea in the end is really to unlock the full potential of the space data economy. And if you have one sentence to keep and to remember, is this one: unlock the full potential of the space data economy. This challenge, as I said in the beginning, is at the crossroad of space data, trust, and value. So in the end, it's really business oriented. The resources or the bedrock are the space data. One of the parameters that is core for Thales is the trust parameter. But in the end, what we are looking at is value. And we are in a context of really complex and non-homogeneous data. The idea to unlock the full potential of the space data economy is to find solution projects that will allow us to reach that goal. So this challenge is all about this, and we hope it will inspire you to imagine projects and potentially company in the end that would address such a stake, such a mission. So happy to answer any question if there are at this stage.
Thank you very much, Guilhem. The floor is to the participants to the webinar. Would you like to know more about this? But perhaps I just have one question in terms of data source or platform. Would you recommend any particular source or platform where participants can tap into?
Frankly speaking, there are a lot of free access platforms online, from the one linked to Sentinel to many others. On that, we have no specific recommendation, meaning that we even put the thinking a bit above the existent to think, because if we have to think in terms of project and in terms of company, to think above all of that, this is why we mention blockchain, APIs, interoperability, to be a bit one step above and to get to a point where you really understand what would be the meta problem or the meta solution that would encompass all of that. This is where, and the change of paradigm that would be associated. So of course, you can get some inspiration with the existence. So this is why we say do not hesitate to leverage data set or existing space platform to get inspiration. But this is not, the point is not necessarily to dig too much into this, or at least not necessarily further than the understanding what is already existing.
Okay, clear. Thank you, Guilhem. Are there any questions from the audience?
All right.
Okay, we can go to
the next challenge. And for this one, I will leave the floor to Noah to introduce this challenge.
Thank you, Guilhem. And so for the second challenge, we are talking about circularity and sustainability. It's a big subject because today thousands of satellites are being launched every single year, and this number keeps growing with mega constellations. But the problem is that the space industry still works in a very linear way. So we build, we launch, we operate, and then at the end, we just abandon or deorbit the satellites. So that means that more congestions and more debris, and at the same time, there is a huge missed on economic opportunity. So if we look at other sectors, circular economy is really important. So they reuse, they refurbish, or also repurpose the use of their industry. And so it means that industries are already transforming, but in space, this mindset is still missing. So the mission here is really simple, is to redefine sustainability in orbit. So how would the space look in the future? So the idea is to create a circular business model for space infrastructure, turning waste and wear into value. So that could mean recovering satellite parts, offering orbital repair as a service, or even creating in-orbit marketplaces for used components. So technically, it's becoming possible. For example, there is in-orbit servicing, robotic arms, and also modular satellite design that are now real capabilities. So we could imagine satellites built like a Lego systems, where parts can be replaced or upgraded instead of sending a brand new satellite. So for that, we can use also AI-based diagnostics to predict failures or predictive maintenance before there is a satellite breakdown. So to make this work, we think that collaboration is really important. So we would need partnerships between operators, manufacturers, and agencies to set new standards for interoperability and material tracking. So at the end, the final goal is to prove that sustainability and profitability can go hand in hand by extending satellite lifetimes, reducing debris, and creating new service models, like, as I said, repair as a service or recycling as a service. So it's really about making space not only sustainable, but regenerative. So that's why we are really focused on the business aspect, where every mission adds value economically, but also environmentally. So if you have any questions, feel free.
Thank you very much, Noah. Thank you very much for these explanations. Are there any reactions to this challenge? Okay.
All right.
Okay, perfect.
The next one is also for Noah.
Let's go on the third challenge. So this one is about the future of edge computing in space. So as DM said, right now the problem is that satellites are producing more data than ever, but most of it is still sent down to Earth for processing. So that means that we have massive data transfers, high latency, and a lot of inefficiency, especially for real-time missions like Earth observation, defense, or autonomous navigation. So the idea of this challenge is to rethink that model and bring edge computing into orbit. So in other words, processing data directly where it is generated instead of sending everything down on the ground. So we could imagine a network of satellites acting like a kind of data centers. So they could store, process, and also analyze information locally. So for example, with AI, and just send the data that matters to Earth. So that could make space systems much faster, more autonomous, and also energy efficient. So from a technical side, we can already start decentralized processing with modular architectures, low power processors, or AI. Of course, this would require a strong ecosystem, so always involving a partnership like satellite operators or cloud providers and telecom companies to make sure that all of these nodes of satellites could communicate and scale. So the business opportunity is really huge. We could offer data processing services directly from orbit, a sort of cloud in space model. So there is a lot of potential applications, including real-time Earth analytics, climate monitoring, or secure military communication. So the business model could follow services, software as a service, or things like that, like a traditional cloud service. So the final objective here is really to design a sustainable and profitable orbital computing network one that transforms satellites from passive data collectors into active intelligence assets. And so you really need to identify use cases with which clients and which kind of revenue streams. So in short, not just connecting space to Earth, but connecting all the space assets together. And here it is for the third challenges, if you have any questions.
Thank you very much, Noah. Thank you very much for that.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Okay. So, hi, it's AJ from Taiwan, and I have a small question for the challenge. So, to better understand the scope of the challenge, are you envisioning the orbital data centers preliminary as an extension of existing Earth-based cloud infrastructure, or as a fully independent space native network? Is there any specific priority you want us to focus on, like technical innovation, operational scalability, or commercial viability,
Yes.
or like the balance of combination of all these three?
This is a really good question, and actually, this is a bit up to the people answering to this challenge to also assess what is the most promising highway in this field. We have really something that is important to notice and to mention is that we are really looking at ecosystemic view, broad vision, big pictures. So this is what we try to offer and to ignite with those challenges. And so at this stage, we wouldn't like to restrict to one way or another regarding this particular topic, give a direction compared to another one, because actually we do not know where the business opportunities lie, and so we are really interested in meeting new ideas on the topics on that. So it is also up to the participants to make a statement and say, okay, we feel that in this wide field there is the opportunities over there or over there. We have no a priori expectation on the direction, and this is a bit the way we work also internally in innovation and with startups.
In any case, what is expected from any solution that participants will suggest, it is really a balance between business-oriented solution, a business model that is not disconnected from the market, and a balance with a realistic technology or even organizational innovation. I mean, it can be technological, it can be organizational as well, or a mix of both. But in terms of the scoring grid, participants will be assessed on that. Each team will be assessed on how they balance their business components with the technological components / organizational components. So that to keep in mind. But I mean, the idea, obviously, we do not ask for participants within 24 hours to come up to a full business plan. I mean, that's just not realistic. But what we do expect is that they ask the right question and that they connect to the market on realistic basis. Your answer was, did we answer your question?
Yeah, that is quite clear. Thank you.
You're welcome. Are there any other reactions? If not, we can, yeah, please.
No, I was saying, all right, let's move to the fourth one.
Yeah. Okay.
So fourth and last challenge around at the crossroad again of design and modular of modularity and composable satellites. So design modular and composable satellites. To give you a bit of background just beforehand, we have design and we are manufacturing at Thales Alenia Space a new type of satellite that is called Space Inspire, and that is a fully reconfigurable satellite in orbit. In terms of, it's a software-defined satellite, and so fully reconfigurable in orbit. So we have already quite extensive activities in this direction. And this challenge really aims at pushing even further the limit regarding this. This is this particular context and potentially the problems associated. Satellites, initially, they have no upgrades. So I said that with our new types of satellite, we are reaching some upgrades, of course, but in a nutshell, we could sum up all of that with no upgrades, no in-orbit adaptability, quite rigid design, and really mission specific. With those keywords, you more or less remind why the satellite industry is so tailor-made, niche, unique, expensive, and so on, because it's each time a new object fully designed for the purpose of this mission and fully rigid to this mission. We have put a first stone in the direction of modularity and reconfigurability with our software design satellite. But what we offer to the participants is to push this limit further by reimagining the satellite as modular systems. So not only the software, but also the hardware and everything that could be considered modular. So you could leverage for that 3D printing, robotic arms. We often hear that, smart modules, because what you would need to address is interoperability, autonomy, connectivity also. And in the end, the goal is really to enable upgradable satellites or self-recognizing satellites. So this is a bit where you can dig. We put there some key concept to guide a bit your reflection. But in the end, really, the goal of this challenge will be to build a business model for a modular satellite. To explore the upgrade as a service or shared platform models, to redefine in the end the satellite economics through adaptability. So you can go still further in the software as we did, but you can also, and you are invited to enlarge the picture also to the hardware aspect and infrastructure aspect of a satellite. So this is for our first challenge, to design a modular and composable satellite at the crossroad with modularity and composability. Even I don't know if this word exists actually for satellites. This is the first challenge, and I'm happy to answer any question if there are.
Regardless of the size, Guillem, of the satellites, we're talking about the
Definitely.
But we're not talking about the nanosats here. We're talking about the bigger ones, right?
We may.
Okay.
We may talk about the nanosats actually. We have no prerequisite on the size of the satellite, because if we start with that, we will restrict too much the reflection. Where do we stop? Is a small satellite still considered or not? Up to which size a CubeSat is considered as a part of being too small or big enough to be addressed in a modular way. we would recommend not to put for the participant not to put themselves such limits, and just think in terms of modularity, and also not modularity for the sake of modularity for the sake of efficiency, for the sake of adaptability, for the sake of effectiveness, to address new use cases, to change the paradigms, to change the economics in space. This is what is behind. So the size of the satellite, in the end, it matters when you are really thinking in terms of the upgradability of the satellite, and so if it is worth the cost to upgrade it or to change something given its size. But we want to push the reflection even further. So also in terms of use cases, for nanosat, there may be use cases where the modular aspect is of interest, but not for the sake of reusability or in a circular manner, but for other use cases. So on that, we are pretty open to any type of direction that would just take into account this mindset of modularity.
Thank you very much, Guillaume. Are there any reactions on this specific challenge? Any questions? I mean, you have the Thales team here, so it's really the occasion to ask.
At your disposal if you have any question.
Yeah. Noah, would you like to add anything else?
I think it's clear on my side.
Okay, very good. Guillaume, do you have any other input that you would like to share with the participants?
No. Maybe what we can summarize is that Thales Alenia Space is really happy to participate to this this hackathon, to propose those 4 challenges. If I remind them, space data, trust and value, circularity and sustainability, the future of edge computing in space, and design a modular and composable satellite. For I would say exciting and different challenges. We are really happy we are looking forward to receive and to see the ideas that will sparkle from those themes. We are pretty open-minded, so really we invite the participants to go with bold vision, with new concepts, and this is what we are interested in and looking for, and we are really happy to be able to offer to the startups in process or in being built that may arise from those challenges and from those teams that will start this journey to enter the Space Business Catalyst Acceleration Program as the first cornerstone to an entrepreneurial journey that would have started with such a hackathon. So really happy to promote and to offer what the Space Business Catalyst has built with Thales Alenia Space for the benefit of the ecosystem of startups and future entrepreneurs.
Yeah, thank you very much, Guillaume, to remind us that, because that's indeed the what sets ActInSpace apart, basically, from other international hackathon. I mean, ActInSpace is not the only international hackathon in the world. There are many from many countries also, and but the really what sets us apart here is really the goal to promote entrepreneurship, and Thales Alenia Space Prize goes actually in that direction. And we thank you very much for opening that opportunity, which is a great one, to participants, and with the idea to go further with the idea, beyond the idea, and then get concrete, etc. I also want to bring to the fore also that in terms of intellectual property rights, we do pay really attention to maintaining intellectual property rights to the teams, basically, who want to basically continue with the ideas and go as entrepreneurs. And this is, you can read the rules. It's written black and white on that. And this is really the idea of the whole hackathon. And with partners, who helping them basically to go forward in the entrepreneurship process. I mean, that's the whole idea of, trying to basically keep the hand, on the innovation. I mean, of course, not every team is going to create its own startup, obviously, but some does, some do. And we've had many success stories, actually, of teams participating in ActInSpace that continue up to date, and that's just great, to know and to let know. So thank you very much, Guillaume, to remind that the entrepreneurship component, which is really at the core of this hackathon. Thank you, Noah, for highlighting us on the challenges, and thank you all for attending this session. So as said in the introduction, we'll put the webinar on replay in a few days, basically, so you have access to it. And more importantly, the participants in your respective sites will have access to it. And the whole idea, these webinars is, I mean, indeed, to help participants to pick and choose, basically, the challenges, and also for organizing sites, sometimes to guide them, because I mean, there are more than 20 challenges in ActInSpaces, and it can be a lot to digest for many teams. And so some may know right up front, which challenge attracts them, and they're ready to go, and no problem with them. But some might need some more additional guidance, I would say. And that's where organizing sites also come, to help them, make up their mind, basically, not influencing them, but just re-explaining the challenges, re-explaining the stakes of each challenges. And that's why we do basically these webinars, to provide this opportunity for interaction. And so participants can, in addition to the written brief that they read, they can also hear the people who thought about these challenges. And this might ring a bell somehow, and help them guide in the choice. Because as Guillaume was saying, I mean, the idea is really to be, to think beyond the frameworks, beyond the existing framework, to be really imaginative. I mean, of course, there are constraints, many constraints, technical, in terms of sovereignty constraints also, when we talk about sharing, data in space. You have so many concerns that come into mind when we think of these challenges. But beyond that, there is a bigger stake. And the goal is really to encourage participants to go there. So no limit. That's what we retain out of this webinar. Thank you very much all. Thank you very much, Guillaume and Noah, for being with us and for explaining Thales Alenia Space Challenge and the role of the business catalyst. Also, I think it's clear, and the opportunity that is given, through a special prize. So if there is no other reaction or question, I mean, I suggest we terminate the webinar, and I wish you all a wonderful day.